Okay, so let's get started with our science lesson for today. And today we're going to be talking about the life cycle of a plant, a life cycle of a plant. And if you remember, started our, I'm going to take a picture of this and scan it in for you tomorrow. We started our KWL chart on what we know about plants, and we have plants grow. We asked how plants grow and what we'll learn. Well, today we're going to learn about the life cycle. So that's something that we could add to the learn part of this, the life cycle. Life cycle of plants. That's what we're learning about today. And remember, we talked about what plants need. We said that plants need what they need to live. They need air, they need water, they need food, they need sunlight. We talked about those things that plants need. So let's look at some vocabulary words that we are going to learn. And I'm going to point out the important words that we are going to learn, which is seed, stem, root, flower, seedling, and seed coat. We've talked about what energy is. Food gives the plant energy. We talked about pollen. Pollen moves the plant. The bees move the pollen from one plant to another to help them grow. And we talked about germination. Germination is the beginning of a seed. So then we're going to do lesson 1 today, the plant life cycle. The plant life cycle. And if you look at the photo, you can see the life cycle is there. It starts with the seeds, and then you have the seed starting to grow, the seedling, and you have the young plant, and then you have the adult plant. So the life cycle of a plant. The life cycle is the series of stages in the life of a living organism. So it's talking about how it grows. Like your life cycle, you start out as a baby, then you are a kindergartner, then you're a 5th grader, then you become a middle schooler, and then a high schooler, and then an adult. So it's talking about your life cycle, how you grow. That's what a life cycle is. A seed is the small part of the plant or the embryo of the plant. And I have some seeds right here. Here is a lemon seed. Okay, and it has a little covering on it that's called a seed coat. There's a covering on it called a seed coat. And this is what usually stores the food for the plant, usually with stored food. The seedling is a young plant that's raised from a seed. A mature plant, a fully grown plant that has reached adulthood. And the flower is the part of the plant that makes seeds so that the life cycle can keep going. Like all living things, plants have a life cycle. They grow from baby plants to mature adult plants, just like we do, people do. There are 4 stages in the life cycle. There's the seed, the seedling, the mature plant, and then the flower. Do you see the yellow flowers on there? Look at this plant. And you've seen this kind of plant before. Remember, we had this in our garden outside. This is looks like a tomato plant. That's a tomato plant. So if we look here, this is the life cycle of a bean. And if you have some beans at home, I want you to see if you can ask mom or dad to give you at least 3 beans, 3 beans. And we're going to do some things with those on Friday. So if you look at the life cycle, when you watch can you see my white arrow? It starts with the seed. See my arrow under the word seed? Okay, here are the seeds. And then the seed begins to grow. And what is that coming out of the seed first? You're exactly right. Those are the roots. The roots come out first. And then the seed is germinating. That means it's starting to grow. And then it turns into a seedling. And if you look at the end of this seed right here, you can see the bean is still on there. Okay, so your roots are going down. and then it becomes a mature plant. That means it's gotten bigger. And then the flower, and then there are the beans. And remember, we had some of these in our garden also. We had some of those in our garden also. So a seed. The plant life cycle begins with the planting of a seed. The seed needs certain things to grow. With warm temperatures, healthy soil, and water, the seed coat softens and begins to germinate or sprout. So once that gets water on it, it gets soft, and then it begins to germinate or sprout. Seedling. As the seed germinates, the tiny roots and shoots stored inside the seed begin to grow. So the roots come down first, and then the rest of the plant goes up. The roots go down into the soil. So the roots are down in the soil, and then the shoot grows upward towards the sun. The plant at this stage is called a seedling. So this is a seedling. Then it becomes an adult plant. The seedling continues to grow until it reaches adulthood. With proper soil, water, and sunlight, the adult plant will soon produce flowers. And then here's the flower. At this stage of the life cycle, the adult plant begins to produce flowers. Inside the flower are the seeds that will continue the life cycle. Once the seeds are made, the flowers begin to die off. So once the seeds start to grow, then the flowers fall off. And so where all these flowers are, you know where there'll be some beans on there. And then some plants produce fruit. Some plants produce fruit or seed pods. The seeds are found inside the fruits. We eat many of the plant's fruit and seed pods. So beans have seed pods, and tomatoes have the fruit on the inside. And so then here's an activity. Okay, draw the plant life cycle. Draw and label the plant life cycle. So here's the sheet that you can draw the plant life cycle. And what does it start with? You're right, it starts with the seed. And then the seed begins to germinate and grow. And then the mature plant, and then the flower. Okay, so those are the stages of the plant. And so tomorrow we'll talk about observing the inside of a seed. We'll observe the inside of a seed tomorrow. And we'll do that a couple of ways tomorrow. But that's our science lesson for today. I'm going to scan in the life cycle of a plant, and all of these lessons will be in one post for you. They'll be in one post. Okay, have a good day. And I will also do our read aloud in one of these for this evening so that you could have that also.